startup ties important at this moment?
Thanks for asking this question. This is a very relevant question in today's scenario. But we must see that the geopolitical scenario in the world is changing. The entire world is flux, and the rules of games are changing. But still, we must be aware of the fact that there are certain constants. There are constants like values of democracy, which countries like India and Denmark are following. And we have our collaborations which is going decades long. We just celebrated last year 75th anniversary of establishment of bilateral diplomatic relations. And our green strategic partnership, which was established in the year 2020. And the year when it was established, our trade was around 1.3 billion. And now, after 5 years of operations of the green strategic partnership, the GSP, our trade is now taking 5 billion. So the collaboration, the synergies and the complementarities have been identified long ago. And the current cooperation and our efforts to bolster and further hold the long-term ties between the startup systems of the two countries is not in a reaction to a particular event in the international geopolitical arena. It is a continuation. It is in the series of actions, in the series of efforts with both sides, the government of the both sides as well as the different stakeholders of both sides have been taking in quite a few years. Having said that, let me also say that green transition is specifically important for India, for a large economy like India, which is now fourth largest economy in the world, and we are also third largest ecosystem in terms of startups. We are also third in terms of number of unicorns. So there is a natural complementarity and there is a natural space for ecosystems of both the countries to collaborate and to come together. In that context, this event and this collaboration is organized. So I am looking forward for concrete outcomes out of this discussion. Thank you.
Absolutely agree with you. I'm struggling with the mic, but I hope I'm audible to the audience here and then I can pass it along. Thank you so much. Alzari sir, we would also want to understand from you, how is the government of India prioritizing the India-Nordic ecosystem collaborations within the broader Startup India and Make in India ambitions that we have?
Hello, good morning. I'm MD Alam Ansari, Deputy Director, DBIIT, Government of India. And thanks for asking this question. The role of DBIIT that Praveen already explained, what I think from this context that the entire ecosystem, the India and the Nordic ecosystem, the highest help is being provided from the highest level of government. Our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi is from the beginning only, he is very interested in startup ecosystem. He has already initiated this Startup India, and now in 2022 also he has initiated this India and Nordic region summit. Since then it has been initiated all this dialogue, and after that our Honorable CIM, Mr. Piyush Goyal, he has also visited this Nordic region in 2020 only, Sweden and Norway, and he is also taking this further. So with their highest level of political support, now it is our duty in DBIIT to make the transition from dialogue to action. So DBIIT is making all sorts of efforts for making this possible, from the policy level changes, from hand-holding. We manage the startup and the venture capitals or incubators, academia and all. And DBIIT is working towards making a platform where all the startups are compatible and their problems are solved, not only from India, from anywhere else also. And I think this is the time where all the ecosystem can work together and achieve a common goal.
Thank you, sir. That's actually exactly, you've summarized exactly what we're trying to do at India. But speaking of collaboration, I think we can't forget the collaborative environment that Karnataka has currently for the startup ecosystem. Vachikara sir, my question to you is, given Karnataka's emergence as the global deep tech hub and Nordic region's leadership in sustainable innovation, what makes this moment critical for forging startup partnerships between the two regions? And how does Karnataka intend to bring about the collaborative spirit that you have in the state to lead this charge with the Nordic countries?
First of all, thank you so much for having me as part of this panel. And it is an auspicious day that we are here at the Tech Barbecue, but it is also a very auspicious day back in India. So I would like to wish everybody a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi, because it is a very auspicious festival, and there are more than 20 startups which have made their way to the Tech Barbecue here on such an auspicious day. So wishing all of you a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. And I would like to first of all start off by saying that I think if you look at the Nordic countries, their traditional strengths have been sustainability, sustainability in technology and in using technology for sustainability. So this is going to be, I think, a very big focus and a key challenge for India in the coming days. If you look further into it, and if you look at how the Nordic countries have done with respect to, let's say, ethical use of technology and using ethics in, let's say, AI, in quantum, in all of these things, there's a very mature and a developed ecosystem present over here. So if you look at the ethical use of technology, I think that is some place which we can learn a lot from, and we can collaborate closely in the implementation of these kind of technologies and systems. And broadly, if you look at inclusivity as well, inclusivity has been a paradigm which I think the Nordic countries, Scandinavia, Denmark, and Europe have been working very strongly towards. So sustainability, tech and sustainability, inclusivity of what is proposed, and the ethical implementation of what technology we have. So this is a key part of it. And yes, there are a lot of geopolitical variables which are happening, but some of the key focuses, as the Council was saying here, is that a strong democratic foundation which we all work towards. Our ecosystem in Karnataka was very well explained to you by our director, Mr. Rahul. We've got over 18,000 startups present in Bangalore. There are 50 unicorns which are present in Bangalore. We're home to the highest number of GCCs in the country, nearly 40% of them. And if you look at the key indexes of how Bangalore has been performing recently, I think a couple of startup Genome reports are very positive towards Bangalore. We rank 5th in the world in terms of AI readiness for a workforce. And if you look at the overall startup ecosystem, we've gone up the value chain. We were 21, we've jumped 7 steps, we're 14, and one of the 2 or 3 cities in the world in the Asian part, which is in the startup ecosystem. So yes, we are doing a lot of good work. So how does this all tie up? But India has a very ambitious target, so we want to be, I think, a $300 billion digital economy by 2030. Karnataka itself has set itself an ambitious target within this, that we want to have a $20 billion quantum economy by 2035. So if you look at where we can work, where we can collaborate, what we already have, what is the next step to achieve our goals for the country in 2030, for the state in 2035, I think these kind of dialogues, these kind of interactions are very important. If you talk about the Nordic countries itself, I think if you say where did quantum technology start or where did quantum start, I think no one can forget about the contribution of Niels Bohr to the whole quantum discussion. And I think talking about technology in the future without having some kind of quantum engagement, be it in climate sustainability, be it in med tech, be it in space tech, quantum is going to play a very big and critical role. So we see the Nordic countries with their deep engagement in these kind of deep tech. We see it as a good place to start interacting, and some of the meetings which we've got lined up, some of the space which we've got lined up, and some of the access programs which we have between the state and other cities, other states, other governments, I think will be a very good interaction, and this is what we're very excited to see: clean tech, deep tech, and ethical use and sustainable use of technology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think it's a very ambitious target that Karnataka has, but one that I believe that Karnataka will very efficiently be able to achieve. So I'll move on to you, SPC, sir. Sir, the role of SIDBI in sort of making the investor community grow in India is unparalleled. I think the contribution that SIDBI has had to make this community come alive is next to nothing else that India has seen. So, in your opinion, how does SIDBI view the timing and importance of India-Nordic startup partnerships in 2025 from a finance and MSME support perspective?
Yeah, good morning friends. So my fellow panelists, I think they have already elaborately dealt with. What we have observed, we are the single largest LP in the country providing capital, starting from seed level to growth capital to venture debt, and the entire journey we have been funding, and we are proud of Bangalore, that is part of India, and of course, I mean, that almost 45% of the total capital is flowing to Bangalore. That itself shows that how quality startups are there in Bangalore. So as far as the Nordic countries is concerned, what I personally see is that there is a great linkage between India and the Nordic countries, because both of us are having a great history, culture. And I think that time has come that has to be further strengthened and taken forward. The investments which have been flowing from Nordic countries, as my fellow panelists say, that majorly that has been flowing to the financial inclusion space, what inclusivity my friend said, the sustainable development, particularly into the area of clean technology, green technology, where a lot of money has been flowing from them, and they are taking a good space there. And there we are working with many, I mean, the fund who are working particularly in Denmark, the State Denmark Fund and the other many funds we are very closely working with. Co-investments we are doing along with them. So what we are seeing that the new areas which are emerging, the Nordic countries, if you see, apart from this sustainability and other areas, they have been very good in terms of designing of technology and their quality. So a couple of units which we funded from India, now you see that how that is expanding. Those MSMEs working in India, we funded them, and they collaborated with the Nordic countries MSMEs, and over a period of time they acquired those companies, and because of that they got the market access to the rest of the world. And those MSMEs within a short period of 4 to 5 years have now turned to multinational MSMEs. And some of them are today having their manufacturing plants here in Sweden, they are having in China, they are having in India, they are having in Hong Kong. So perhaps this is the time of collaboration, what we call, there is a term we have been using, co-optation. In fact, we must compete with cooperation. Competition must be there, and all states, all the countries in the world are targeting to take lead in their respective areas. But perhaps this is the time that if you compete with each other with cooperation, perhaps that can be the best way, and that's the way forward.
Absolutely, sir. Speaking of competing with competition, I think the next theme it flows beautifully is to identify the key sectors that we think that there can be collaboration and competition between the Nordic and the Indian startups. On that, my first question is to you, Mr. Arya, sir. What are some of the Nordic industries, from your perspective of being here, that you think that the Indian startups should really think of collaborating with, where we can actively seek partnership and collaboration with the startups here in the Nordic region?
Of course. As it was also mentioned in the earlier remarks, the framework and the philosophy of India-Denmark relations is in the green strategic partnership. So green technologies, they are a kind of the motivations behind all and various aspects of bilateral relationship. And same thing gets translated into when we envisage the cooperation between the startup ecosystems of both the countries. So sectors like sustainable economy, green and clean sector, the Danish market is particularly has expertise in health sector and life sciences. And our sector, I was just going through our startup India Star, so we have promising startups in the health sector as well. We are a leader in fintech. UPI is now having close to 20 billion transactions per month. So we have technological edge in certain sectors, and of course the same thing is reflected in the Danish market and larger Nordic market as well, where there is natural complementarity and natural synergies. So we must forge a relationship in these sectors Particularly mentionable is also blue economy and maritime sector cooperation. We had a visit from Honorable Minister of Shipping in June, where we discussed these matters, and we are trying to find out ways of cooperating in these sectors. Thank you.
Zari sir, what do you think our Indian startups should be capitalizing on? What are the partnerships that they should be forging with the Nordic region?
See, apart from this clean tech, green tech, and health tech, India is now focusing on deep tech in all these sectors. And in this region, we can see that they have one edge over technology. See, we have scale in India, just as I just explained about UPI and how we have achieved that level of digital access there. So in Nordic country and in India, I think Indian startups should concentrate on the technology edge of this region to get all the technological advantage, and from here they can access our market, because in India we have scale. Right? There's infinite number, means you can expand as much as you want. So, and also they can collaboratively work on the various problems that India faces, because as far as scale is there, and there are problems also, like in green tech and this clean tech, there is a problem with water, waste management, and in these sectors there are huge opportunities. And in India, I'm happy to announce that we had a fund of fund that Robin already explained, is 10,000 crore in the first session. But now we are extending this to another fund of fund 2.0, where another 10,000 crore will be used. And we are working on it, and I think very soon we'll be launching this scheme. So there is opportunity, there is scale, there is a market, talent, Indian talent, and all, everything is there. So if startups from these two regions can collaborate and work together, they can achieve a higher goal.
Absolutely, sir. So speaking from the Karnataka perspective, so what are the strongest potential for collaboration that Karnataka in the India-Nordic collaboration can forge?
Once again, I think it's going to sound like we're all harping on about the same thing.
Yeah.
Clean tech, green tech. But if I'm just going to share some facts and figures, I think one very heartening number which came out about a week ago was 80% of the energy which Karnataka used about a week ago, I think it was the 18th of August, was supplied by renewable energy sources. So this shows the kind of engagement which Karnataka has started off from a very early stage with respect to making sure that we've got renewable energy sources. So we're quite strong in wind, naturally because of our advantage with solar, we have big installations. But I think some place where we can work more closely and exploit the offshore wind potential which Karnataka has to offer. I think Denmark, Germany, we see Holland, Netherlands, these are countries which have done very well with respect to their offshore wind utilization. So I think that is some place where we can learn, we can collaborate, work on areas of energy generation, renewable energy generation. Further, I think one of the things which the state is trying to do, where we could work with collaboration with the Nordic countries, since even they have a very thinly spread out population, is how do you create microgrids? You don't want to be generating all of your energy at one source and then transporting it hundreds and thousands of kilometers away and utilizing it over there. You want to be creating models where you can create energy and utilize the energy in a sustainable way in a short area. So I think these microgrid programs are something which the state government is pushing in a very active way in Karnataka. And I see that there's a good collaboration synergies possibility with respect to these countries, Nordic countries and Karnataka. And further, I think we all see that waste management, waste handling is a real pressing problem for our country. So how do we transition from plastic to maybe more environmentally friendly packaging? How do we take care of these waste which is created, the bio waste which is created? Because I know the Nordic countries are extremely efficient in the way they process their waste, they handle their waste, and they dispose of their waste. So these are collaborations, these are tie-ups which we can work with. And if you look at even the tech side, the way European Union has used its leverage to make sure that manufacturers and producers think of the whole life cycle of a product, right? From its inception to its death, repairability, interoperability, changing. So these are very important lessons which we can learn from the Nordic countries and we can implement within our own system as well. So I think there is plenty to learn. And with respect to what our panelists already talked about deep tech, and with respect to deep tech, I think there's plenty of potential in quantum. And there is no discussion which you can have now without having AI as a part of it as well. So what can we learn with respect to AI, ethical use of AI? So all of these are very exciting areas for us to see and work out collaborations between Nordic countries and the state of Karnataka.
Sir, what sectors do you think have the highest potential for investment? I know I'm sort of regurgitating the same question, but the answers that I've got from all of you, you've all identified more and more sectors that we can find that
That's great.
collaboration.
You see, India's merit lies in the market which it provides to the government. Right? So, yesterday I was in the meeting, LP meet, that was the European LP meet. Two things emerged very significantly for me. One, during that course of meeting, in fact, the people were talking about that how many companies have been created through the startup ecosystem which are having valuation of 100 billion plus. So now, and perhaps majority of those companies are the US-based companies. So even the Nordic countries should also think that this is the time, let us think beyond unicorn to 100 billion plus companies. And these companies can be built only in the area of tech-based startups. And that's the time where we must work on that AI is the immediate and beyond. Right? So perhaps these two countries, Nordic countries and India should join hands together to work that we should create through this ecosystem which we have created, not only looking towards unicorn or others, but 100 billion plus tech companies which should be categorized like this. Right? And the second is that any tech talk right now, if it is not including AI, is perhaps harmful. So we must work on that, and I think future will be.
Absolutely, sir. So I thought I'd take this moment to also share ideas by talking about what are the benefits that our organizations are offering to the startups. Our colleagues already have walked through a lot of the work that is being done, but for the new members who joined the room and for the startups, just wanted to get some more thoughts on the support that they can seek from the embassy, from India, from Karnataka state and from Sydney. Arya, so my first question to you is, how does the embassy really support the startups, both India and Nordic, Indians to expand to Nordic, Nordic to expand to India, in getting market access, regulatory guidance or any bilateral programs?
Of course. First of all, we must understand that embassy is an arm of government, or better put, like embassy is part of arm of government, which is Ministry of External Affairs. So, as part of government, we are mandated to implement government policies and regulations. And as I said in the beginning itself, that the framework under which we work, particularly in Denmark, is the Green Strategic Partnership. And within this partnership, we have already identified the sectors. And when it comes to facilitating startups, so this is something which we do constantly, rigorously, through multiple ways and channels. Number one, enabling market access. So we are in touch with different stakeholders, both in the Indian side as well as the Danish side. Promoting startups within India is specifically the domain of DPIIT, which was already discussed at length. But when it comes to forging ties between the systems of both countries, we are there. And of course, organizing events like this is one of the important parts of it. Then we are in touch with the agencies, relevant agencies in the Delhi side. We are also in touch with financing agencies, Copenhagen infrastructure partners, and there's a few more. We are in touch with foundations, be it Novo Nordisk or the foundations on the Indian side as well. So we create dialogue, and those dialogues help us create long-term relationships and forging synergies. We are there. We are available 24/7. We have a team at the embassy. Our contacts are available with our stakeholders. So from time to time, real-time basis, we try to help and facilitate startups from both sides. Apart from that, we also lead, and of course we are a part of India-Denmark Chamber of Commerce. Through that also we try to lead delegations to and fro from India side to Chinese side and other way around to identify cooperations and long-term relations. I hope that helps. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ansari sir, what are the policy measures and facilitation services that DPIIT provides to ease market entry and cooperation between India and Nordic startups?
As sir stated that it's DPIIT's role to nurture this startup ecosystem in India and also globally. So I really thankful for sir for making this big video event happen. And see, in India, we work for the startup ecosystem, but it will be incomplete if we don't go live, don't go global. So this kind of collaboration and event helps us to reach this goal. And for startup, as already stated, the major help or role that we play is that at political level, that is very useful for going global also and bringing startups to India also. So at highest level, as I already stated, that our Prime Minister and our Commerce and Industry Minister also, they are totally focused in this area and they are working for it. So in DBIT, I guess we have reformed already 63 reforms regarding startup ease of doing business. So we are doing anything and everything to help the startup ecosystem, and just you need to reach us and let us know your problem, and we will be working on that. That's for sure. And for schemes that government provides, see, for any startup, only government scheme is not enough. So we have so many schemes for fund of fund, seed fund, credit guarantee is there, tax exemption is there, but that's not enough. We have to outreach other investment from other also. For that also, DPIIT gives that platform that Mahakund Startup Mahakund is one of the example. And apart from this, we also do so many state outreach program and global outreach program like this also. So in a nutshell, DPIIT is doing anything and everything for a startup ecosystem to grow. So I think in near future also, we will be helping all the startups and they will grow.
Yeah. Sir, what specific support does the government of Karnataka offer to startups, especially for those looking to engage internationally?
I've just seen your colleague
Yeah.
subtly indicate that I'm out of time. So I'm trying to keep this as brief as possible. So I think for the state government there are global innovation alliances where we open up Karnataka to the state, to the world, and we allow partners from various countries to come and work in Karnataka as well. There are soft landing programs, so we have centers, we have single point of contact who are available for companies to come and make soft landings within Karnataka. We also expose our startups to ecosystems outside to the world. We are traveling with us a delegation of about 10 startups, curated startups from Karnataka. So these are the kind of access we give. Beyond that, I think, as Rahul sir mentioned, there's an Elevate program which through which we funded close to 2,500 startups in Karnataka without taking a single % of equity from them. LEAP is a very ambitious program of the government, where we want to make sure that there's regional parity in development. So it's not just Karnataka is not just a Bangalore story. Karnataka has many other regions, and we want to make sure we focus on all of them, which is where the Beyond Bangalore initiative comes in, where the state government heavily subsidizes people who want to set up institutions beyond Bangalore. And one of the very important things is, I think, yes, money is required, yes, businesses need to move it, but without talent, without a workforce which has skill, which has education, which has training, I think you can't achieve anything, which is a key a distinguishing feature between Bangalore and any other city. And over here, the Nipuna scheme, which is taken up by the state government, subsidizes skilling and training for anyone who wants to come to Karnataka up to about 50%. So irrespective of the cost of the program, we will subsidize 50% of your skilling costs. And one of the caveats is that we hope you will employ the person who you skill. So that's one of the caveats. So we've launched a very big skilling program. There is the booster kit, which was already spoken about, where we help companies with IP, we help companies with patents. We also take care of rentals in case somebody is setting up. So there are multiple programs, and for paucity of time, I would once again say our delegation is over here. for the next couple of days. We are here for the whole today and we're here tomorrow as well. Anyone who wants to reach out to us with respect to Beyond Bangalore, with respect to our GCC policy, with respect to deep tech, Innoverse, can kindly contact us and we'll be very glad to share all the programs the state of Karnataka has. We're one of the most progressive states and we want to make sure that we retain our advantage and leadership.
Thank you, sir. I mean, we have less time, but I just wanted to close with one last question and I'll open that for all of you. I will put time in. Fast forward to 2035, what would you want as the vision for this India-Nordic collaboration? And I'll let any of you go ahead.
So I think the areas and the priorities of the global at the global level and both at the both regional level. As far as India is concerned and Nordic is concerned, is well laid down. I think the only thing is that we have to work together to take it to the next level. The sectors are identified. The market which is emerging going forward, where we have to cater geopolitics, the way it is evolving, and the nationalist feeling which is emerging in every nation across the world. Perhaps the mantra is cooperation. Let's compete with cooperation and achieve the greater heights.
I would just like to add short comment. As famous marketing guru Peter Drucker has said, best way to predict the future is to create it. So we are here, our startups are here, state government is also here, Startup India, the innovation facilitator is also here. So we should try and create relationship and synergies to create the future. That's what will be the future in 2035. That's what we are in for.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this morning and for sharing your insights with us. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I enjoyed hosting it. Thank you everyone for joining. Startup India and Karnataka is at hall number C2. Please join us and meet the 20 startups that Karnataka and India have got for all of you to witness and explore. Thank you so much.